I'm on go, so don't make me embarrass you. She wanna play games, but that's what I've been made to. I'm a big dog, baby, yeah, call me Marvin Dude. I'ma take my time as I glide, cause this ain't hard to do. Count my big bucks, sit back, buy me a car too. Don't mean to break your heart, but it's mine, I'll end up scarring you. We ain't got it after my life, 49 days through a storm or two. Yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I just hit the earth, I just took a slurp. I might take a nerve, put him in the dirt. I just read the stove, I don't see a clerk. Got the purple gun, hit him where it hurt. See the ups, they lurk. See him from a distance, I ain't worried, I'm alert. Catch him in my vision, I'ma aim above the shirt. What you doing, I'm trying to build it. Take a lot, but it's gon' work. Yeah, yeah. I'm gon' go, so don't make me embarrass you. She wanna play games, but that's what I've been made to. I'm a big dog, baby, yeah, call me Marvin Dude. I'ma take my time as I glide, cause this ain't hard to do. Count my V-bucks, sit back, buy me a
Yo, shit, this shit's gone mute, unmute. Yeah. Anyway, Money Gang's the topic. Good to have you here. People in the chat, Hank with the first. Yes, you are first, my friend. Look within. What's up, homie? Zephyr, add some money to your account for sure. And the Provo Kid coming at you with the fresh stream comment. And you, Zephyr, you've been working the spell for months, baby. I hear you. The spell of money. We're living in a world that uses language, as you know, to construct our reality, right? But what else is really constructing our reality? I've gone through different thought experiments and paradigms, especially the last couple of years, the last 10 years of like really looking into self actualization and self development and just being a human that's paying attention to things. And one of the things that you can't get around is this whole, I hear people saying it all the time, and I've said it, but I don't know. I do know money is real. It's very real, and this is going to be Zen. Yet it's not real, though. It's not real. We only think it's real. It's one way to look at it, right? Ever since I was a child, it seemed like there was nothing more important in life than money. You know, I came from a lower middle class household at the time, and money was the answer to many problems out there, right? Like it could be nicer. It would be nicer to buy nicer things. You know, I always needed to upgrade. That's what was very important to me at the time. Money could take us to nicer places, and overall, it just could afford us a better lifestyle. You know, and I don't know how. I didn't know how to be content with less in life, or why that would even matter, because I have this idea that more at all in all situations was better than having less. I didn't have that minimalist mindset that I'm cultivating in the present. All I could see from my friends and social media was that money was the answer to everything that I've been looking for. And now that I'm older, I'm learned so much, experienced so much, and streamed so much that I'm seeing that on one sense, money is simply a construct of the human mind. And it pretty much everything is, bro. Yeah. So it's like when I heard someone else say that, and then I try to internalize that it's just a construct. It was a little jarring at first. Um, and then in order to like kind of figure out where that was coming from, I had to really internalize having an open mind. You know, you hear people saying money is the root of all evil, but bro, it gets stuff done. It gets without money. For example, I heard Tommy just say this on his live. When you go to the arcade and play the whack a mole or skeet ball or some fishing video game or hunting video game simulation, you're gonna get tickets, right? You're gonna get tickets to buy those stationary items like pens and Hello Kitty pens and uh, Robotech like mech suit toys, or even a cheap MP3 player if you're in there like grinding it out for all those tickets on Dance Dance Revolution. You know, those tickets mean something in that game. that game of the arcade facility, that gaming entertainment station. It means something, but you bring them outside and try to go to 7-Eleven or Family Mart to buy you a Gatorade or some water. They're gonna look at you crazy, fool. Yeah, because that's outside that particular reality tunnel game. It's the same metaphor. I mean, you can relate it to outside of the arcade. Okay, we use money, currency. You call it fiat currency, but it's real enough. It's real enough. It's so real that people fool themselves in thinking that it's not real. And just because you rotate on the fact that the money is real and that can get you stuff and that it's a medium to help lubricate situations and get your desires met, it doesn't mean you worship it, right? It just means that you're using it. Do you worship a hammer when you're hammering nails into the wood? When you're making a a spice board or putting a trim on your new house that you're constructing, right? It's real enough. Let me show you this wonderful experience I had back in the day, Occupy SF, during that Occupy Wall Street movement, and we had a discussion about the value of nothing, the value of money, with some people that were protesting. I don't even know if they knew what they were protesting at the time, right? They just wanted to be out there. That was their Vietnam War protest moment, the Occupy movement. Greetings, Jack Talcott, and blessing to all. Right? Zephyr was a comment. I always accept fair trades from my service. Yeah, a trading, bartering society is something that, if there is a total collapse, more people will have to use that option, because that might be the only option. A bartering service trade economy. People are already doing that. It's already happening. Just because it's not happening where you live doesn't mean it's not happening. It's the Federal Reserve, 101 Market Street in San Francisco. See, a lot of these conversations are conversations about nothing, that's a whole nother uh, topic that can have 20 more streams, that really nobody's really talking to nobody. But there is something there, though. But anyway, the conversations on the value of nothing. These two people, one dude protesting with the dreads, about, I think, a complete overhaul of not using any commerce, any currency, not even maybe not just fiat currency, but also a commodity. It's like even gold and silver, just what Zlephyr talking about, I think. Service based, right? And this other girl's that's protesting. I don't know. I guess they're just protesting that they want change, right? It probably stems from their own life. She's protesting and saying that you need to buy things. What about the things you're buying now? Watch you listen to what she has to say real quick.
Meadows to create lots of attention like this, but on a higher scale than just we don't need to take the rock out of the ground, make it square, put it as high as we can.
Okay, so
There's plenty of open land out there.
I understand, but like this tent that you got, this blue tarp, where do you get this blue tarp from?
Donation.
Okay, but where does it really come from? Walmart.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so where is Walmart getting this blue tarp from?
Some third world country.
Okay, and here it is helping you guys. And that's your action.
Does the meaning justify the ends? Do you kill one person to save
Obviously, it
1,000?
does for you guys.
Does it
But
though?
you bought it. Or you got it.
I didn't buy it.
But you're using
I don't
it.
Have fun with this
It
conversation.
was interesting. And then this third girl comes in, the little blonde hair lady. She's talking and leaving her 2 cents in. And then I think she ends up said it earlier, or she's gonna say it, that she just got paid to come down and protest by somebody. Yeah. So, this is an interesting little chaotic event.
I've said all I can.
Because I don't have a job. This is my job. I don't buy stuff. I didn't buy it. I don't have a sticker. I just came to hold the sign for them to see. I'm not even here to buy the
Where
car.
is your shirt from?
My shirt from Gap.
Okay.
My aunt bought it. I don't
But this society doesn't provide us much options.
Yes, I know.
Listen, right, I agree. It doesn't have a lot of options.
The link's in the description. I mean, in the chat. Want to come up and
Dollar you spend, you're
share your
voting on
thoughts.
something. So when your aunt bought that shirt for you,
No, you would be voting if you had been given a choice, if you had been taught a way to
There's
create
no
without
though.
purchasing.
No is such a bad
If you were
word
given
right
that
now.
option in your learning system,
Is no really a bad word? Let's talk about that for a second. She said no is a bad word right now. No. If you don't say no, you actually open yourself up to a lot of novelty and different experiences that normally you would if you did say no, right? You wouldn't be presented with those options and those chances for an adventure, and also misfortune too. So you're opening yourself up to anything, right? But if you never say no, she said never say no. You could fall for some things that take you off your purpose, and where you end up protesting something that you don't even know what you're protesting, and the other people that are watching are trying to find some rationale to what you're doing.
but in the school system, you are not taught to create your own clothes.
You're not even taught to create your own system.
And so you don't have the option to say, like, you haven't been taught that option. You have the option, but you haven't been taught it.
sure, how to make your own clothes,
How to make your own clothes, how to farm, how to provide for yourself outside of this system. But
How to get a house would be nice so
this
that
is
we
a
could
little
build a farm.
start.
You
It's a
know?
little start. In this right now is really like how to create a community, how to interact in a community by providing for everyone
With all
that
knowledge.
is willing to participate in the community.
How to okay, there's two things there. This one lady was saying that the schools need to teach you how to build a house, practical things, right? That you can touch and feel and use, right? To meet your basic Laszlo needs at the base of the pyramid, building a house. And school does the Prussian school system that we use. It does offer that. It teaches you engineering, STEM courses, if you're paying attention. However, maybe she's talking about they want to literally how to build a house type of class would help people. Okay, I get it. That's good. But then the gentleman over here, he's talking about we need a community. We need to learn how to we need to build a community where everyone's that wants to participate paraphrasing, has a voice, and but the thing is, maybe I'll ask brother Jack Talcott right now. Let me bring him on. Hey, what's going on, Jack? How's it going, bro? My
Feeling
friend.
blessed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was I was trying to understand the clip that you were sharing. I don't
Me
even understand
too.
what they're doing, man.
Me too. I was trying to understand too. I remember those days, man. You remember? I don't know where you were at during 2012 when the Occupy Wall Street was going on. I'm sure they had something on Spokane or around there. Yeah,
I
yeah.
ignored him. I went
You ignored them.
I went along with my job, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Most of that stuff was going on during the day when most people work. Yeah, yeah. But I was gonna ask you that he's talking about that gentleman's talking about community to build a community and where everyone's heard and whatnot. But what is a community? Is a community just a bunch of people getting together with a network, or is an actual community people who have pretty much the same the same foundation of what they're or goal? You know what I mean?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
To have that network, you'd want some sort of common foundation. And I get what you were saying. I was listening to you. I have some
Hmm.
disagreements on money because I used to have some false beliefs of money.
Hmm.
Um, hey, you got another guest.
Yeah. What's up to my good friend Mystery Ozo? What's going on, bro? How's it
What's up,
going?
man?
What's up, man? I have my friend Jack Talcott here, Mystery
What's
Ozo.
up, What's up,
Yeah,
Jax?
Greetings.
yeah. Mystery Ozo knows how to make that money, that Taurus energy.
Oh
Yeah,
man, listen, man.
yeah,
I had some guests today, right? I had to entertain. So,
yeah.
he comes by. He asked me for shrooms or whatever. So I'm like,
Hmm.
I got you. He ain't got the money to pay me for enough because he wants to feel the effects of it. You know what I mean? But he doesn't want to take. He's the one of those people that if you show them what it takes to get the effects, they're like, nah, that's too much. I'm not doing that. But every
Hmm.
time he comes, I give it to him, and he doesn't even realize that I'm giving him high doses, and he just has a great time with me every time, right? So he
All
comes
right.
over. My friend comes. My friend's sister. I take 10, 20 grams of shrooms, crush it. I add 3 nip bottles of some alcohol that there is low quality alcohol, like 16% alcohol volume, whatever, because it's water soluble mushroom. So I add those. I make 2 double shot glasses and 1 single shot glass. I take a double shot, drink it. My friend drinks his, and she drinks her little single shot. We're chilling. I'm entertaining them. I'm listening to Styles P. I'm listening to Lil Wayne. I'm just chilling. I see my eyeballs is like doing the little dance or whatever. I could see stuff wiggly or whatever, but I'm not paying attention to that because I'm hosting people, whatever. They leave. I get an opportunity to take a second. I close my eyes. I sit down on the chair and I close my eyes. As soon as I close my eyes, it was like plugging into a VR. Poof! I felt the light, I ignited like Dragon Ball Z. Boom! Like a light came up
Hmm.
around me, and then to my left and my right, I seen 2 dragons chasing each other up this poles, like chasing each other up into the
Hmm.
sky. And it was
Wait,
like the
they'll give. I don't mean to interrupt, but we don't want to give them the whole trip. And plus, we're on the
huh,
topic of money. So
huh? Oh yeah, yeah,
if you can like compress that,
yeah.
because I wanted to hear what Jack had to say too about what he some of the stuff he didn't disagree. Because this live stream was actually inspired by the great Jack Talcott when we were
Oh,
talking about for money or something. But go ahead, Mr. Rizzo.
oh, true.
I don't mean to
Okay.
cut you off right there, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
no doubt, no doubt.
I
It's just crazy how I get caught up.
gotta.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure,
yeah,
bro. I love, man. That's one of the main reasons why I want to go back to the wilderness in North America and get a lot of money, so I can have the luxury to commune with that type of stuff. But
no doubt, man. That's
yeah,
what I did with the
yeah,
Frenchies, though. Like I get the money
yeah.
because of the. I know the French bulldogs right now is a wave that people are
Hmm.
selling them up to $1 million for a Frenchie, depending on the genetics and what it carries in the genetics. And the genetics, You have to add, you have to breed two dogs that carry certain genetics together to make puppies that
Hmm.
carry both genetics from the parents. So when you got a dog, the difference between a dog that's cost 30,000 and a dog that costs 5,000, even though they look exactly the same, one of them is white, both of them look white or whatever, except one is
Yeah.
platinum and one is just a cream colored dog. And the difference between the one that costs a lot more is because it carries a whole bunch of genetics that are hidden underneath the color that it's carrying right now. The dog looks a certain color, but it has all these other color works underneath that coat. So when you breed it to the right dog, you can make puppies that cost like designer type colored
Right.
dogs. But there's a
Hmm.
problem with the whole thing that people are, they're not following structure and stuff like that. So the dogs is far and few between dogs that are worth the money that you're paying for, and dogs that have issues with breathing, with issues that can't even walk correctly and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you have to do the right way. But
Now that's what you just said is an example of when people do make the case that money can spawn evil or it's evil
mhm,
because like
mhm,
that's diabolical to like a living creature to exploit
mhm,
it like that just for
yep,
some more money. It can't even breathe.
yeah,
You know, that's
that's
an
a problem.
example of that.
Yeah,
Yeah. You what's Jack say right here in this comment? Even though he's here, this is meta. Money
go
and
ahead.
the concept has been used as a tool for control, division, and exploitation. There you go.
Yeah.
Mr. Talcott, what did you have? What did you disagree with me on? I don't like that, bro. We don't dis. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I want to hear that. I want to hear. Yeah.
I don't think we disagree.
Yeah.
I've learned of alternatives,
Mm,
and people have been looking at all sorts of things. Money can become a tool of the past. It's been given. I mentioned this in my live stream earlier. The the religions have been a part of the manipulation and part of the
mm,
development, and everything has been a part of everything. But where we were corrupted, the churches and the schools taught the children that poverty is a part of life. We're not supposed to have poverty. We're here to share, to grow together, to be abundant together.
hmm I agree. I have a good friend, not a good friend, but an acquaintance and somebody that I respect, brother A. Rashid, and he's a writer and artist. And he one of the mantras and quotes I love what he says is like he's all in this era that where people are they hate people because of their race and whatnot and all this other stuff. And this is a black dude that was raised in the Nation of Islam over there in Brooklyn, right? But his mantra now is like I don't hate people, I hate poverty. And I thought
Mm.
that was like that hit me because it's like, bro, that's something that's universal. That's something that Dr. King, if I'm not mistaken, was fighting one of the big movements he had right before he got clipped. Rest in peace,
Uh,
King. Yeah.
Hey, it absolutely was.
Uh,
Let's see if this comes up.
yeah.
We are a new unsettling force.
Hmm.
That was the motto
Yeah.
of the Poor People's Campaign. The Poor People's Campaign
Okay.
was started by Dr. Martin Luther King.
Oh wow. Wow. That's dude. See, we have it like in real time right there. Now, what was the main? I mean, that says it all right there, like a mission statement. But what would you?
Yeah.
How would you sum that up for us? Like what he was
Poverty,
about.
he was about equality.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. King, he is my personal hero. That my path took me into labor. And when I started learning more about American history and the history of
Mm-hmm.
labor, well, that's Black history as well. And Dr. King was an incredible voice, for peace and justice, not just for the disparities of race, but for the disparities and the atrocities of poverty. He was about he inspired me, to believe in Jesus and
Mm-hmm.
what Jesus was teaching. And then I learned, man, dude, that's it. I truly trust and believe that that's the future of the world. We're going to overcome the divisions of wealth and authority together, and then we'll unite.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I mean, I'm optimistic. That's a big part of me, and like, bro, that's what I want. I want stable, like, everybody like Ronnie King. Can we all just get along? Type of stuff, right?
We
Yeah.
can. When people stop lying to each other, when people stop making excuses to hate, if we work together, we can overcome our differences.
So true. Yeah. Just look at Mysterioso, man. Like, this guy is one of the realest hardcore OGs I know.
Yeah.
Yet he has very good temperance around people that normally I would lose my shit over. I'm like, how do you do that, Ozo? Too, kind of like Jack too, I guess. Yeah. Like, how do you do that, man? You always like that?
Um, I usually I usually don't talk to people. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
it right there. That's the difference. No, that's the difference between that's Jack and
yeah,
Ozo.
Yeah.
I don't. My grandmother was like very cognitive into training. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was kids, like I don't know, like my grandmother made me very aware of what
Mm,
I'm talking about, like or like to not say nothing if I don't have nothing to say,
Mm-hmm.
or unless it's not something. If I had something bad to say, then shut up. Don't say nothing. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just listen and just let them whatever. And if it's you know what I mean, until they ask you something specifically, and then you be like, you know what? I just think that's stupid. Like you know what I mean, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But for the most part, I don't like even opening my mouth to say anything is stupid or anything it doesn't make sense or whatever. I just listen. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you got to reflect on things that might not seem important to you, or like something that might seem like nonsense, but there's always some grain of something in there. Like you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
those are
Yeah.
great lessons. They really are.
Mhm.
Yeah. The practical, you can see that both you guys are sharing that. Um, and back to bring it back to the poverty thing.
Oh yeah.
Um, like what was King's message with that campaign? What is it called again, Jack?
The poor people's campaign.
Yeah, because it sounds very familiar. Yeah,
It's
and
still going. It's led by Dr. Reverend uh, Barber. Can't remember. I
hmm
think that's his name. I've met him. Um, it's still going, but
yeah,
I see all of these movements, all of these protests. There's people standing up because they know there's an injustice, but they don't know the solution.
yeah. Yeah, this is
I
what. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
well, I'm foolish enough to believe that the solution is obvious. We can have immediate reforms, and the corruption ends when secrets and lies are no longer enabled.
Right. No, that's it's simple, but then again, uh, it's like we do that. Everyone comes together, right, on some righteousness, we could say, for a righteous cause. But
Yeah,
if the inner work isn't done, you're
right,
just gonna it's gonna be some other like dickhead like that or
right.
dickheads that try to take over and stuff, man. This is why like Mysterioso, what he does, it's interesting because his inner, not to speak for him, he's right here, but fuck it. His inner work has to do with the sacred medicine, as he says, like the
Mhm.
mushrooms, right? And it's
Yeah,
really he's helped you a lot, Rosa, wouldn't you say, in terms of like self reflection and stuff and becoming a
Yeah,
good person? Yeah.
bro. Listen,
And a
I
lot of people think a lot of people need that's one way that people can get that way.
yeah,
But that's not the only way. But
right.
the commonality is the fact that self reflection, because, bro, like I've noticed that like since years ago that all these groups they kind of want happiness because most people want happiness in their life, but they're not
Yeah,
willing to do the due diligence of the work or and see the self reflection that's needed to see like shit, all this stuff I'm projecting on everything else and everyone else, bro. Where's that coming from? What's the common denominator? The I, the I, So, ugh. I feel you, Jack, but it's like I don't think people are serious because they don't want to do the work of themselves, man.
I didn't. I didn't want to do the work on myself, but it turned out my life hung in the balance. And I'm so grateful that I did start looking at myself. And that's why I think, man, I have so much faith. I don't know what is happening in the world,
Mhm.
but I have faith in God. I have faith in the truth. And I don't know. I'm excited for what. Oh, the reason I brought.
That's. Okay, hold that. Shout
Oh,
out to the brother Shift. What's going
yes.
on, my bro?
Just
What's up,
chilling,
man?
man. You hear me well?
Yeah, you good? We got our friends Jack and Ozo over here on
Awesome.
NBC the Game Live. Money is not real, but it's real enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with this interest-based system, it's just a complete scam. But yeah, the show must go
Yeah.
on.
That's right. And then we'll get that because I want to get your take because look, the guy got his damn Scrooge on this thing, so he has definitely something to say about money. The Scrooge archetype. Yeah. So, but before we go there, let's go. Jack, you were saying, "Oh, I got something to say." You're about to say something.
Well, it was just real briefly about me because I am all about reform and addressing the corruption. But right before I saw you streaming, I'd already done my live stream, and I'm looking at my life, and it's crazy, dude. There's other
Mm-hmm.
streams where I'm the topic, but I'm blocked. I am not allowed to come near, right?
Jesus. That Joker laugh.
And
uh,
so
I love it.
I did. I texted a couple of people, offered invitations, some
Uh-huh.
for conversations. And then I saw you were going. What I see happening with these characters, they are projecting their behavior all over me in their accusations. And so why is that happening? Well, it's got to be me.
Yep. Of course.
But I've been working on me. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
flawless, but I know the shit that I've been facing in me already. And I know that these people are wrong. So I'm an honest reflection. And that's what we all are. When we're honest with each other, I mean, this is how the consciousness works. We're all fractals of the mind, and we either reflect within ourselves and we reflect back with honesty, or we're projecting all sorts of insecurities and accusations.
Yeah. Wait, what you're doing is like somebody said it in the chat. I think they said it respectfully. That Jack, you're like a reflection. You're mirroring there, right?
Yep.
You just said it, right? I think we all are to a certain extent. But here's the thing: we all Hank asked that, I asked that, everyone asked that, you asked that. Like, what? Why are they doing this to you? I think Shift said it, but because you're if we're using that metaphor, you're the mirror of reflecting things on people. That's pretty clean, you know. But your mirror is usually in the bathroom where you're the only one that and your people that your intimate others can look at, right? But
Yeah.
your mirror is like on fucking Market Street, where or in the Tenderloin. This is where this video was shot by where I was, which is like Skid Row, and then like. So what do you expect? Your mirror is gonna get dirty, dog.
Yeah. Oh,
It's gonna get dirty. You
no.
do it to yourself. I do it to myself by opening myself up to these people online, which I
Yeah.
have a lot of good contacts and stuff, like we talked about. But bro, like my friends that don't go online, they don't have these problems like me. I don't have really that many issues with people on the squish reality, but online, bro, is. But I do it to myself.
Well, this is
What do you
what's
think about that?
yes. I know there's a part of me that is doing this because that's the way the universe works, but I set the goal to follow the way, to
Hmm.
become more devoted to God, like the example. And my prayer is we bring peace to the world. And so, as it said, well, I've been rejected from my hometown and I'm trying to find my way. But this ties us back to the topic money.
Hmm.
My service in the military and the education I found, man, I'm an environmentalist. I'm a pacifist. My passion is ending wars. And behind these wars is the wage slavery and the economic system.
By design since
Yeah.
2009. So
Mm.
yeah,
It,
if you read the book, this very interesting book, it's kind of like a time warp from 2006, and basically the author detailed all about America's future, and it's a bleak future because of the way it's designed, its benefits, how it's scammed basically the people that work in the country, the free trade agreement with NAFTA, and how your
Hmm.
jobs are being exported out from the world. And
yep.
you would think in the expense of corporate profits, and then like before, America used to incentivize people to stay in a company because they could provide pensions, they could provide healthcare benefits, the social security system. People weren't living that long, so they could pay full benefits and they could live their golden years, no problem. But due to the free trade, exportation, hyper capitalism, basically. Essentially, corporations have pretty much bought off the politicians, so they favor the corporations over us. So the middle class gets wiped out. It's like all of your taxes is basically going to these industries that are parasitic in nature, like even healthcare. Why are drugs costing so much? How come people in the most powerful country in the world,
Hmm.
most richest country in the world, how the fuck are people going into medical bankruptcy?
Yeah.
It's inexcusable. It's fucking inexcusable. It's
Yeah.
disgusting. It's so disgusting.
It costs like uh 300, 100 NT, which is like $1, New Taiwanese dollars, for me to go to the dentist the other day. It costs like, if you need to, if you have like a lung, like an issue, like a lung issue, like some type of lung infection or bad cold, you can get an appointment right away in Taiwan, right, and go to the doctor and barely pay anything. Whereas in America, it's, you may be seriously ill and it would take you a month to get an appointment, bro. And once you get the appointment, you're gonna pay out your ass, and this will be all these hoops you have to go through. And this is because they have like socialized medicine here too,
Well, yeah,
So
and that's another thing too. The lobbyists, if you look at the healthcare, right? They got scam lobbyists like the AMA, the American Medicine Association.
oh
They were the
wait,
ones.
sorry. And by the way, one question. By the way, 100 NT is only like a fucking dollar 10. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. It's like
anyway, go ahead.
it basically they were the ones that wanted to. They were voting against Medicare and Medicaid. They didn't want average people, to be protected if they get sick or they can't afford to have health
Hmm.
insurance.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are not letting more doctors in the system. Do you know why? Because they want to protect basically the salaries of the high salaries these doctors are paying, but
Hmm.
really at the expense of everybody else, like going into bankruptcy and getting sick, and they can't get the care they need. And it's really despicable. And I work in healthcare, but honestly, like I healthcare is should not be a business.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
should be like a privilege, and it should be about treating the sick over fucking profits. It's just really,
Right.
really disgusting. And then that's why it leads to higher costs. It leads to more, like, doctors have to worry about liabilities.
Hmm.
They can't run a practice because it's just the costs are so expensive. It's just
Mm.
a huge scam. But that's just like one part of the beast, if you know what I mean. Like, in terms of America, it's very, very sophisticated manipulation of its economic system to keep you, the average person, from not really knowing what's going on. And this even what happened in 2009 with the real estate crash. How it happened was, like in the year 2000, right? You heard of the internet.com bubble. Everybody heard about that, right?
Yeah, yeah. My ex girlfriend got a nice job over there in San Francisco, and BlueLight.com, the Kmart's first website, and that shit was doing good, and it just crashed, bro. Then another
Yeah.
company she went to, it crashed. She went like
Yeah.
3 companies in the first 3 years, bro.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Then
Yeah.
once that crashed, Alan Greenspan, he was the Federal Reserve chairman. So
Hmm.
basically, during the 90s, there was like some Asian financial crisis happening in 97. Like Thailand was pegged to the dollar. They tried to remove their currency off the dollar. So that caused the whole Asian side of the world to collapse. So Alan Greenspan cut interest rates, caused the bubble of the internet bubble. Then once that burst, in 2001 happened, he started lowering rates and all the smart money moved into real estate. But then that wasn't enough, right? So the banks and the mortgage companies, they decided to, the fixed mortgage rates was not enough. They had to make interest only mortgages or adjustable rate mortgages, basically, which is just like it only lasts like 3 to 5 years, right? And it's usually good if there's a high interest rate environment and it's going to low interest rate. But this was going into a low interest rate environment, which is already terrible. And interest rate only loans, so the payments are low, but you get fucking scammed, right? And also they juiced it up even more by having no income, no asset type of mortgages. You could lie in the application, you're making 500K and still get that mortgage. And then basically the banks, they leveraged that, made it into a security or like kind of like they sold it on the market and they leveraged it 80 to 1. So, it was like pure madness, pure greed, pure leverage, disgusting behavior. And then when it all crashed, what happened? You know, Bush and the fucking cronies and Obama, another fucking crony, none of the bankers went to jail. None of the people from the mortgage scam and all this other shit went to jail. And they had to bail it out by keeping interest rates so low, for their friends to get 0% interest loans and to literally just mask all the
Hmm.
problems that happen in America. That's why
You've still done nothing.
they still have done
Yeah.
nothing.
No,
So,
we have
no,
still done nothing to make
yeah,
sure that justice is brought forth. Immediate
yes,
reforms are available.
Hmm.
yes. And also, we have to remove the foreign entities in America. There's congressmen, they're saying they have to make a pledge to a certain country, if you know what I mean. And or they're not going to get federal funding, or they're not going to get any support because a lot of those special interest groups from that country are funding those basically congressmen and senators to do their bidding, and it's just it's
You're saying
complete.
Israel, right?
Well, pretty much. I call it the crooked nose people. The crooked crew, the
Okay.
crooked tribe, the crooked tribe. Let me just say that. So, in it's just why would any country? Why would you have foreign entities could kind of dictate your country? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It does
You
make
know.
sense. Come on. I mean, it doesn't. I get it. Like we say colloquially, it doesn't make sense because it's madness. But dude, this is a beast system, right? So
Yes.
so Jack, what do you how do you push back against that? You were saying that the people could have challenged that or can right now. What does that look like?
Well, I don't know exactly, but admittedly, I hope to play a part in this
Yeah.
because my dream, I don't know how it can happen, but I know logically it can. Citizens, we can find a way to get in front of the members of Congress, have whatever they call those meetings, right? Like Netanyahu got to come and speak to
Hmm.
Congress and the world through that process. Let's get some conscious citizens in front of them. Wars can end immediately. There can be ceasefires declared, and we can commit to immediate reforms. And the reforms that we want transparency, we want equity, we want honor amongst those who claim to represent us. And so we'll give the choice to the sitting members of Congress. And seriously, I'd love to invite Donald Trump into this, right? And let's have some conversations. For those who want to join the efforts to bring immediate reforms and peace to the world, they can join us. Otherwise, they can get the hell out of their way, and we'll get someone appropriate, from the right area. We'll follow the rules, but we'll just make some changes. I think it can happen.
Yeah, the more I hear you share that, the more real it solidifies in my mind because yeah, months ago I'd be like, of course I want peace, you know. However, bro, it's not gonna happen. But dude, you're working on me, man, and I'm sure other people too, because that is something that you're right. Logically, it could happen. That was pretty logical what you said. It's just not just that. I'm interested. I'm also interested though how like logistically we can literally do that. Like how they say artists talk about you can have all these ideas, like great, beautiful concepts, but can you execute? How are you gonna execute it? Like, so that's something that I guess
You
we have to
I
have those type of conversations too if we're really
you would
serious about it.
you would really have to kind of it's going to be very, very difficult. I mean, I would love that, but the thing is, it's very difficult because you're versing the media, which is not just the
Hmm.
mainstream media, but the alternative media, and they kind of keep people in the dark of what's truly happening. And it's the hyper capitalism system, and also
I like the
that,
impossible though more and
yeah,
more though, but I
yeah,
see what you're saying though.
yeah. It's I would love to, but the cynic, the cynic in me, it's just it's an uphill battle. It's like kind of like you're versing a fucking Goliath from hell. You know, it's
I
gonna,
God, dude.
yeah.
Hey, seriously, I've embraced the idea, right? Becoming faith filled to God. What is God to me? God reveals the truth. So I serve the God of the truth with love and dedication. And so if you look at the world today, this is our lifetime.
Hmm.
This is our lifetime. And I'm over 50 years old now, and I'm not proud of how low America has sunk. I mean,
Mm.
the standards of leadership in this nation, it's dropped far too low for us to leave for our kids to clean up.
Hmm.
So, I, if I want to be, if I want to have faith in God, then I got to believe that miracles can happen.
Mm.
And my faith came, you know what? I don't know. I just know that I want to try. I want to try and get in front of the citizens of Congress. I've imagined myself, right? Following the path, following the inspiration from Dr. King, following the way of being an advocate for
Hmm.
truth, for justice, for reform. And history shows America's freedom was sold out to corporate greed a long time ago. This land is the land of the free and the healthy and the educated. As long as they can as long as they can pay for it, they can afford
Hmm.
it. But that's not what workers died to create. Workers died to create a better world for their family and for their children's children. And the world becomes better when people stop fighting. And when we have disclosure, and we'll find the ways to do this in the safest way. But when our corporations and our governments are not fighting against, the public, against the truth, when we have disclosure and people are no longer paid to spread lies, dude, we can transform this world so quickly. And I have faith. I'm telling you, just we don't know.
Right. And who knows what you might be one day. You're like, you turn on the C-SPAN or whatever you want. You're like, holy cow, man! Jack Talcott's in front of addressing Congress,
I would
right?
like to see that. I would like
Yeah,
to see that.
yeah. I would like to see it in the front row. I'll support it. And then
Dude,
Congress right there, bro. That'd be sick. Yeah. But
I honestly think I'll get shot, you know, because the stuff I would say will be off the cuff and very raw and very unfiltered, and it will piss off a lot of people. So
you're shooting your shot metaphorically, and then they'll shoot theirs. So as long as you can,
yeah,
what you said before is good enough, man. You become a martyr, right?
hey,
But that's definitely one way. Go ahead, Jack.
before my experience online, that's
Yeah.
exactly how I was. I was a hothead, man. If I got in front of someone, I might have a little problem with my profanity and stuff. But
Mm.
I think I've been growing. And I'm telling you, I don't know what is true, but I've become a man of very deep faith. And I believe in the impossible because the impossible happened to me. So, what if it's true? It would make sense. I've been asking myself, and sincerely, you guys don't know me, but I am kind of asking as friends because I've been asking myself for a long time, what am I supposed to do with what I've been allowed to learn? There's got to be a reason, got to be a purpose. I'm supposed to take these ideas somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've tried the Veterans for Peace chapter locally. I've tried reaching out to the national organization. I've tried the local city council. Tried multiple different uh, churches and multiple different denominations. And
Mm.
but
Jack, you're dealing with the boomers, man. Maybe what you need is the millennials to really
I
take your message and run with it. Who
it
knows?
well,
could be.
I'm a millennial, and I don't have any kind of like hope for my generation because they're very glued to the internet, and the unfortunate thing is they don't really do deep, heavy research and what they're looking at, and they kind of take whatever a person says at face value,
Mm,
and that's a problem. You can't just believe someone blindly. Kind of have to look at what they say, who they are, where they came from,
Well,
what's their,
yeah.
track record and stuff. But that's too hard for people nowadays. It's because of that impulsivity. It requires, you gotta like
Well,
doing research
that,
requires time.
well, that's why we're here, though. I mean, there's
mhm.
not we're generalizing, and I'm sure I see them, I see them, but we'll talk about alpha, what they call alpha millennials, the even younger than you, right? Even though these people are, they're obsessed with the internet and locked in, you can't tell me that there's not some of them that still are able to, or even eager to find some higher concepts or
Yeah,
concepts that resonate them. They're there. It's just like anything, bro. When you're building your tribe, you got to teach people. You got
yeah.
to teach them how to listen to how you teach before you even get to the content. Sometimes that's why it was cool about Jack's live today about grace, and I made it in my life social grace, right? Because most of my lessons in school, bro, it's about like behavior. Because
Yeah.
before I can teach them anything, that I have to make sure that they're able to ingest it, right? It's not no spooky mind control. It's just basic civilization,
Yeah.
manners and stuff, man. And how to
Listening,
be an active listener and whatnot.
yeah, listening, having
Right.
some critical thought, exchange of
Mm-hmm.
ideas and perspectives,
Yes.
and it's okay to be wrong, and learn from it. So that's another
Right.
thing too.
Absolutely. Shout out to Cryo in the chat holding it down. Cryo from Ohio. Control the source, control the resources. Yeah, for sure. And then
That's
yo, Yeah, that's true, right? Whoever controls the source controls the resources on many levels. Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Our resources have been sold, and then organizations, corporations, people claim to control. I mean, everything has been sold in America. Water rights, waters for, I mean, it's crazy.
It's
This
insane.
world, it is.
And you look at it, right? The workforce, right? Why are they so focused on like quotas and like the DEI type of thing? Shouldn't it be about like getting the best worker possible at the best position? But instead, they're hiring people that should never even got the job in the first place because they're just not qualified enough. And that is due kind of pretty much to, like I said before, like the globalization. It's actually a cancer in a way because it destroys the country within and the workers in there. Because America back in the day, they actually take care of their people. Nowadays, you just see the reverse opposite. You see, and you could see that with the living standards. The living standards in America is just gone down. The family unit is so fractured. It's like people are just not proud to be American. They're more proud about being something else. And when
Mm-hmm.
I was growing up, I did the Pledge of Allegiance. I, sing the Star Spangled Banner. I was proud. I was just like, I became an American citizen. I was like, this is great. This is
Right.
absolutely great. The freedom, the patriotism. But then I just see so much corruption. It's it's really very sophisticated corruption that a lot of people can't really see unless you like really look into it. But some people just don't want to see it because it's just too depressing. It's too depressing.
Mm-hmm.
To some people, to stomach, and like the old saying goes, the truth is a bitter pill to swallow, and some people are just better off being ignorant. But I say we need to rip the band-aid off. There needs to be someone, like a John F. Kennedy or something that was not afraid to speak it at the highest stage, at the highest order, right? I don't believe Trump is that person
That's
because
me.
There you
It's
go.
you. Just need help
Yeah.
getting in front of them. That's
Right.
that's it.
He's putting the call out. I see you, Jack.
I've been saying this a while, and I actually know I got inspired with this idea back in 2018. I know the right people. I know the right people who could help me easily get in the door. And, you know, between 2 to 6 phone calls from where I sit, I could be
Mm-hmm.
sitting here using this technology and having conversations with people in Congress or in the administration. But
Mm-hmm.
the people I know haven't wanted to communicate with me. And so I found my way online. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man, we are a part. I don't know how it's going to happen. It might not be me, but the world is ready for change. The world is ready for reform. It's ready for people to stand up and start doing better.
something has to give. I definitely agree
Mm-hmm.
with you on that. Or else I see ramifications of essentially our speech, our way, the living standards will get so poor. There won't be any more freedoms. You won't be allowed to speak your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like just two classes, the ultra connected, ultra wealthy, and the poor, and also the middle classes in that region too, because of it's been wiped out, completely wiped out. So something has to give. When that happens, either either a great economic collapse, a great collapse, which honestly I think we should have had that in 2009. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
just bailing out the banks, let them fail. Let all the bad actors fail, go to jail. We wouldn't have went through a Great Depression again. 20% interest rates are higher. But guess what? People will be more connected with their families. You know, they may be, you know, it will be very, very hard times, but, you know, like, then you know, America will be like, okay, we fucked up. We have to focus on the well-being of our citizens instead of these corporations and never make that mistake again. But now it's like the can has been kicked so far down the road. It's just the longer they keep this system going, this Fakezi, I just I see either that economic of a worse economic collapse or a war, a world war. It's either
Well, that's
there's
why it's
only
up to the people to take control of what's going on. It's the
But
people get the government they allow. We
yeah,
immoral people get evil rulers to rise, and the morality in the land of America, it's clear. You look on the entertainment, look at the poverty in every community. There's a clear lack of morality in this land.
yes, yes, absolutely. And we have seen it, you know, with the rise of the rainbow and all this other thing. I mean, you look at through biblical, like all the religions. I mean, Saddam and Gomorrah and all that. You can't have a
mhm.
society where these type of people are running rampant and featured everywhere. That's when you know there's moral decay. Like that's a hidden feature in society, and it should remain hidden. It should never be encouraged. Um, and it's just absolutely disgusting. Like these people, I have great vile against them completely, and but you know, obviously, if they're doing it like in the privacy of their own home, who cares, right? But my issue is that if they're so promoted and then kids are seeing it, that's a huge problem. That's completely disgusting. You know.
It's
Yeah, because those
fascinating. You did what many Christians do. I was talking about the poverty in the communities, and you focused on opinions of the gay people. That's what I heard. No offense, but I don't understand.
Well, it's just you can't really because it doesn't that society doesn't really promote a healthy family unit, and it doesn't really it's just not a great feature to be featured, you know, like to be featured as like the main component of any country. Of course, they're they have the right to live. Anyone has the right to live, but the problem is it's just not really conducive to really to a healthy society. It's just not. Even in
Well,
Islam, they
here's
got oh go
because
ahead,
you're
go ahead.
not Christian, right? Shift. You're not a
No, I'm
Christian.
not Christian. I'm Muslim. So
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm making assumptions that you're in the Western world. That
yeah.
so America is blind. There are human beings today living in sincerely substandard living conditions by any dignified opinion. And there's women and children, men, women, and children who are being severely oppressed, much worse than we complain about in America. And I believe it's up to us, sincerely. Let's not focus on blaming people. We can address the systems. They're
No,
broken.
I agree with that. With the corporations, Wall Street, basically that type of system that promotes greed
Oh,
and this exploitation.
yeah.
And yeah, that needs to be eradicated. You can't have that type of corruption um, reigning for so long, you know. But America needs to wake up. The citizens need to wake up, and they need to start. You know, I mean, the January 6th thing was kind of like lame, but it needs to be bigger revolts. Like in a way, I'm not saying that I would do it, but something has to give.
I
Something.
want to, sorry, that's my dream. I want to do that, but I want those rooms filled with the people in Congress. I don't want them running
Mhm.
away from what we have to say. I want them attentive and willing to ask us questions because it's time, man. It is time for people to unite and overcome those beasts of rule, the
Mhm.
government and corporate regulations. That they actually make it more complicated for us to live.
Or it's more it's like exploitation, in
Yeah.
a way,
Yes.
because there's healthy regulations to protect citizens, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there's other parts where they're exploiting the people's kind of ignorance from what's really going on, and
Hmm.
that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be like the FDA, for example. A lot of them are being paid by the drug companies to promote their drugs. It's not a drug review, it's a drug approval process. The
Because they
name.
Exactly.
work for those companies
Y-
like a couple years before that. It's like a revolving door. They switch reviewer, regulators, board of directors. Like it
Yeah.
goes, like that. And
There's
these people are the shout out to Shadowback, Shadow Buddha in the chat. He said shout out to the brothers, the panel brothers, gang, gang, gang for sure. And this stream is money is not real, but it's real enough. And there's something that you guys are touching on about like the state of the mind, the state of awareness of the average American citizen or pleb, however you want to see it. And like how like I heard Jack say use the term wage slave. There's nothing more. Oh my gosh, gut punching to hear that word wage slave because I've been there, and it's like all your attention is focused in getting money for so you can use it as a medium to get what your family desires and needs. But the wage slave mentality and process and technique makes it so those wage slavers cannot think about and have discussions like we're having because they're so locked into the zombie mode, right? Talk a little bit about that wage slaver. Uh, you guys,
yeah,
what's your thoughts
yeah.
on that?
I To be honest, most of those honest people, they kind of have no choice, and it's really because of the way the living standards basically in the Western world has fallen so badly. Like back in the what is it, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, a one man can manage a household, have a house, have enough food on the table, the wife could take care of the kids, and it was comfortable. Like back then, you could work in a supermarket and actually go to college and pay everything and you're covered. You're good. Even when you're older, everything's paid for. Everything's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, but nowadays you you're stuck if you don't really have like an advanced degree as a doctor or lawyer or engineer, and you don't have connections. You're kind of fucked. Even
or
if you
you
try,
don't have, or
yeah.
excuse me, or you don't have knowledge that for example, that you gave yourself about how to invest, how to use the stock market. Like we don't, most people don't know that, man, unless because it's so far removed from what they were taught in school and taught with their parents because their parents are it's generational wage slavers too. And I don't mean to be like a like what it seems like Paul enslaved when he uses you're a slave because that's really derogatory. People don't want to be a slave.
No,
Most people don't, right? But what I'm saying is like most of the parents are trapped in that and they don't know about stocks and investing and let alone the children. So it's like
but
we
that
don't give them the tools to learn these
but that's
things.
also another option because the average citizen shouldn't even be looking at that type of stuff. That should be just people in that industry. It should be kind of closed. Really, there
Yeah.
should be like a
Well,
high
you made money off
savings.
it, right?
I made
You
money
were
off
before.
of it, but the thing is, I'm still disgusted by it. Like this learning the ins and outs of it. And I was kind of forced into it, but I kind of like it at the same time. But I'm also kind of disgusted. It's kind of it kind of really it kind of attacks your soul in a way because it's no having more money doesn't really change you who you are inside, really. And to me, it's just like I still feel the same person I was even when I was broke. I remember when, I was in college, I had $80,000 in debt. I was broke, but to be honest, I was just like, I had a goal to finish college. I had a goal to get a degree. I had a goal to get a job, which I did. And I paid off my loan, and I kept learning. I kept growing. But I'm also fortunate, my family gave me that support. Um, but the average person, like really, we should have high interest rates so people can save. We should have a nice safety net to protect the vulnerable. And we should have a government that cares for the well-being of the citizens. And then the stock market, you know what it is. It's just it's it's a football game. It's like
Yeah.
smart money versus dumb money.
Yeah, and it is. And speaking of that, Shadow Buddha had a comment for. So that's Schiff what he thinks about the Feds cutting the rates, interest rates, 2025. You just said that we should have higher interest rates, and they just cut it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
which is just really, really because their inflation numbers has gotten down, which we all know is baloney. Like they don't even include food and housing in their
mhm,
fucking CPI data, which is just absolutely
that's
criminal.
weird.
It's fucking yeah,
Yeah.
they do that on purpose. They have like some hedrionic pricing. It's like really fucked up. And the
Yeah, because
reason
we would
why
have a hyperinflation. That's right. They did that.
it will be
Close to that.
higher. It'll be very high, but it won't be hyperinflation because the dollar's pegged with oil and commodities. So what America does, its system, it exports inflation across the world. So and that's also the world reserve currency. So I mean, it will never happen in America hyperinflation, but high
Hmm.
inflation. And the reason why they keep it low also is to not pay because Social Security is kind of adjusted to inflation. They want to keep that number low so they don't pay that those payments to
I see.
retirees. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
in this, it's like the unemployment went up this by a few percentage points, and they raised it to 50 basis points. They cut it down. I mean, they cut down the interest rate, and I thought, man, this is just adding fuel to the fire. It's like, what
Yeah,
the
they're gonna get
fuck?
less money. The
I
people
mean,
on unemployment. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just going to add fuel to the stock market. But we'll see what happens next year. I'm not an advisor or anything like that. I'm just like, I call myself an enthusiast, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
And I'm just waiting and seeing, but eventually they're just playing conserve. It's tricky because how could you be cutting interest rates in an environment where people are really still suffering? Food prices are high, real estate is high, the living standards are low. It's just like it's kind of criminal. They're trying to get on the board because usually when unemployment creaks, people are getting worried that it could cause a recession. So they're trying to jump on the curve. But to me, in terms of society wise, I still think it's very criminal what they're doing. The Fed and all those bankers, it's all to keep that fucking market up and keep those,
Yeah.
corporations having low interest rate loans and keep corporate profits rolling at the expense
Hmm.
of other people. Oh, Jack jumped off.
Oh, so I was gonna ask him about the wage slave stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Cool.
really, it's just I've been talking. It's like kind of like the same talking points I've been saying, but
Hmm.
it's just the average person suffers.
Yeah.
The wage slave cycle keeps going on, and the ones that say like, "Oh, you got to snap out of it. You got to snap out of it. You got to just motivate yourself," and it's just some people can't. It's just
Hmm.
how it's like the have or have nots. It's really bad. You know.
Yeah. At this point, yeah. I mean, you could motivate yourself, but not everyone's willing to do that. Comment from Jack Talcott. Thanks for the panel conversations. Stepping out for a while and leaving. Appreciation. Yeah, brother. Thank you for coming through and blessing us with your knowledge, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully
This
Jack's
is
dream comes true. So.
yeah, bro. I mean, why not think like that? Like, and try to make it a reality. So Jack Talcott says nothing really changes until we choose to change it. Right, unless you mean it. The world is ready for reform. It is because 100% dissatisfaction brings real change, bro. And the way we're talking, it's not we're being doomers, but we're sick of that, bro. We are sick of it. So we
We
do have a moment where we can use that sickness for change, that feeling.
Yeah, like the way we're saying it, it's one thing to state out what's happening compared to just
Hmm.
saying it's over and just quitting. And
Yeah.
you know me, there is no quit. There's no such thing as quitting. It's just not in my DNA. It's just not. It's
Right.
not part of me. You know. To some other people and the younger folks, if they listen to fucking idiots, the doomers, then yeah, you're going to be a loser. It's just how it is, and
And a
you have to.
rider.
And yeah, a complete rotter. And those people, I mean, then they'll be stuck permanently as a complete loser. Like I wouldn't even
Right.
call them wage slaves. I would call them complete losers. Like they just hate life, and that's the extreme form of nihilism, the extreme hatred of oneself. You know.
Right. Yeah. At least when Schopenhauer brought those thoughts to fruition in his writings, he went to go live in the wilderness and didn't bother people. But these people like want to come on like a panel and black pill it out. Shout out to Shadow Buddha. He said, "My brothers." We know who he's talking about. What's up, my sister? What's up, Zephyr? How's it going?
Hey, hi. How you doing? I'm doing good.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. What's your thoughts on money or what we've been talking about, Fanny?
I think it's the love of money that's a problem, and greed is
Mm-hmm.
not good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Money, you have to have money, and it's funny because I'm a professional tarot reader, and a lot of people like that's something that a lot of people have a problem with you charging money for. It's kind of like if you're an artist, you should be starving. That's the whole paradigm,
That's
and
cool. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah, really cool.
Yeah. That. Yeah. That's a very cool art that you're and skill that you do and helpful. But it's
I,
ridiculous to.
I
Hmm?
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But you have to like have energy exchange, and that is the basics of what money is supposed to be. You're exchanging energy and services and material for other material. It's a medium of exchange, you
Yeah.
know.
It is.
And so
That's what
that's
it
why I
is.
always accept trade because
Mm.
I don't think it should be a barrier.
I liked your
Okay.
point about money worshiping. Yeah. And
Yeah.
really, the people get fucked are the ones that are greedy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't seem like it, but it is not to their advantage. I mean, yeah, that's why you
Yeah.
can't buy love.
No.
You know?
Yeah. I'll trade you for a tarot reading, and I'll give you a mic that doesn't pop.
Oh, I'm
It's not
sorry.
popping. It's
That's my
okay.
phone.
It's all
I
good.
have one
I,
actually. I just haven't set it up. I just got it as a gift for my birthday. I just haven't set it up. So my apologies for the popping
no,
mic.
it's okay. We can deal with it. We're just happy to have you. Especially, it's your birthday. Birthday energy. When was your birthday?
It was
September or October?
August 6th.
August 6th. Okay, Leo, you're like Jack, sun sign. Similar.
Yep.
Cool.
Leo,
Awesome.
double D.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of fire.
A lot of lions.
A lot of
I'm the
fire.
and you're the only scorpion, and I'm the only bull with a little
Yeah.
scorpion inside.
Yeah.
Well, see,
I got yeah. I got
I
the
have,
Mars in a good placement. I mean, I got Leo and Mars, so exalted there. So go ahead.
yeah.
What you say?
I also have my Uranus is in Scorpio, so I have some Scorpio energy, and my moon is in
Right.
Taurus. My mom is a Taurus, and my oldest child is a Taurus.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Has some
Yeah,
Earth.
Mine,
Taurus. Taurus Sun, Taurus Rising here means shift.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm Taurus Sun, Scorpio Moon,
Rising.
Mars in Cancer, Jupiter in Leo, Venus in Gemini, Libra rising. So I can be explosive, but honestly, as I got older, I'm more wiser. So I just learned
Mars
if
and
I
Cancer. Ooh,
yeah,
I wouldn't want to make you mad.
I
My
mean
wife has that too. Yeah.
yeah, and the Scorpio moon too. It's just as I got older, I just learned whenever I get super rageful, I just step out the room. I don't say anything, and I just walk it off. That
That's
helps.
smart. That takes a lot of restraint. It's good to have that.
Yeah,
And
and
Mars in Cancer is crazy because Cancer is like the home nurturing, right? And then, but Mars is like who you go to war with, who you get vitality from. So there's an opportunity there for to get angry about some stuff in the house that's not going your way. Sometimes I could see
Yep,
yeah,
and you got to be
like
that
comfortable
placement.
there because it's your house, so
Right,
it makes it
right.
challenging.
yeah, like whenever I get like like I feel like something is someone makes a snarky comment or something, I just say, you know what, maybe it's in I interpreted it wrong, and I just let it go. Unless it's like completely, I could sense when someone's trying to manipulate me pretty well. Um,
Hmm.
but usually I usually just leave it. I just go away from that person. Because I learn life is short. And I think the Libra rising kind of helps the balance. You know, can't always be
Libra,
cynical.
oh, so good. My guy is a Libra, and there's nothing better than a Libra. I love the Libra energy. It's like the balance is what is needed right now.
Well,
Oh
that's
yeah.
what the like for me. The reason I've been looking at on Libra lately was because I have that in my North Node on the Moon, like where I'm going to in this incarnation here right now, and that Libra energy is where I get the mantra social grace, man. Because you really got to slow down and look at the other to really have these moments for your opportunity to take where you can grow. Like for example, like I could talk about my chart right now, but I want to know about your chart, and Zephyr, in terms of Leo. What do you think some of the big their mantra is, and also like what's the biggest takeaway from the Leo season?
Leo is ultimately, I think, the most challenging thing for me is I I talk about myself a lot, but what I do is I'm trying to relate my experience to other people's experience, and I think that gets misinterpreted a lot. Plus,
Hmm.
I'm actually an introvert naturally. I had to like learn how to be an extrovert, so I can come across as like really annoying, and I know this, so I usually just announce it right away to break the tension.
Hmm.
And but I feel like I'm very much a servant of like myself and humanity both. I try to like you were saying earlier, like the other. One of my mantras is I am another you.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Namaste. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
Right.
And
That is a great one to remember.
I think the biggest progress that I had to make was basically not taking things so personally. And I think that that's something everybody should probably do, not take things so personally, because like somebody might just be having a bad day and it's not about you. I had to figure that out that the hard way because it's not always about you.
Pretty
And
much.
It's probably never about you. I mean, that's
it
when
That's
I
most
go into
times
my
not.
non-duality. Like, who's
Yeah,
there
exactly.
for it to go to? Like, who's watching this experience you're having? Are you just an action figure that thinks this is all happening to you? Like, what's really going on? So that even though
Well, I
if
have
there is someone there, something there, it that type of thinking helps me not take it so personally. You
yeah,
know,
totally.
I'm a
And
nobody.
I think that offense is a gift and you have to accept it in order to be offended. So
Mm,
it's on
yeah.
you
you,
gotta
right?
you got to
Right.
consider it a compliment, you know, in a way.
It is.
And
Blame is too. Blame is the biggest power move ever. If people blame you, that means you have power. Because that means
pretty
Yeah.
much,
that you have that power to like be blamable.
yeah.
Yeah, because
My,
then you realize like, oh, if you want to go this route, it's up to you. You can be like, oh, that manipulated you. I wasn't even trying. Now
But
I
please,
know if I really wanted to, I could.
all of it. I'll take it. Please.
like
Yeah.
me and Gabriel, we got into basically how cults form and stuff like that.
Right.
And an old enemy of ours, he looked at my 12th house, it was Virgo. He's like, damn, like you could be a cult leader. I was like, I don't want
Hmm.
to. I mean, I like to know the knowledge so I don't get fucked by other people. But to me, to do it on other people, to violate their freedoms, like my Saturn's in no, Saturn in Aquarius. So I value freedom highly, you know, and I
Hmm.
think people should have freedom. People should have open perspective and learn from other people. So, um,
Yeah.
My Saturn is conjunct my natal sun. Yeah.
Oh, you guys can learn a lot of each other because Aquarius and Libras are polarizations of each other, and that's where the real learning comes when you see the uncommon commonalities of the polarization signs. And it's in Saturn too. Discipline, tradition, obstacles,
Boundary,
yeah, all that delayed gratification, all that.
restraint. That's what Saturn is representative most my life at least is cultivating restraint. So
Hmm. I have Saturn and Leo too. We all have this Leo Saturn connection. Sounds like on this phone right now. Some type of
that's
yeah.
for me, it was with my combinations. I've been when I'm really dialed into something, I'm really dialed in. But then it consumes me. Like what a topic or a thing I study at it. That's the only thing that matters. Like I even got in college, I actually got a fine from the university because a fire drill was happening, and I had no idea. I was studying so fucking hard with my, you know, I had music on. I had no idea there was a fire happening in the building. I probably could have died if the fire kept continuing. So they gave me a ticket. I almost got expelled. I pretty much begged them. I'm like, come on, like maybe $1,000 in debt. Let me go, please. It was an honest mistake. I didn't hear it, and they kind of scratched my head, and the university person, and is like, okay, you're let go. But I notice like throughout my life, it has not been easy. But to be honest, I kind of enjoy it in a way because it's more gratifying when you go through the obstacles and you become triumphant. It's satisfying.
yep. Challenge
Yeah.
creates strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't use it, you lose it. So I wouldn't want to have an easy life because then I'd just be like jellyfish.
And
That's
and
a
I
Pisces energy.
yeah, and I
Jellyfish
think
floating around. Yeah.
And I think with the Scorpio moon, a lot of people say it's debilitating, but I consider it a very high strength because the emotional intensity. You're passionate. You're very passionate. Although some people kind of use it in very bad ways, but with the way I see it, it's just intuition. You kind of have
Yeah.
like this psyche, like of something's off. You
Yeah.
know.
It's
Yeah.
debilitating, but that could bring you a lot of power. What makes how the moon makes Scorpio debilitating is similar to like look at Stevie Wonder. Allegedly, he's blind, right? But because he's blind, he was able to enhance his hearing, and he became one of the greatest musicians in our modern day. You know, so he has a debilitating start, but I mean, he ran with it and cultivated other things about his skill set. You know? And shout out
As
to NBC. Don't judge me. She said, "What's up? Yeah, good to see
yeah.
you." What were you gonna say, Zeb?
I was gonna say I'm really super nearsighted and
Hmm.
I'm an artist and I think um I do abstract art mostly and I think it kind of like enhances my art actually, but I also have polychromatic vision, which means I can see more colors than most people can, which is
Mm.
very interesting. But it does like whenever you're one of your senses is somehow retarded, then it does grow. Those synapses grow into other parts, and my hearing is like years old, and I can still hear the frequency that only like people that are young are supposed to be able to hear, but I can still
Mm-hmm.
hear that. I think it's like it compensates somehow your senses
Yeah, it sounds like
whenever
a
you have
gift.
one that's weaker than
That
the
that sounds
others.
empowering. That sounds empowering, not debilitating. You know, in the end,
And like
got these.
I was driving for a while on a very bad prescription, and whenever I got new glasses, I was like, oh my God, I don't even know how I was driving. I guess there's two visual circuits in your brain, and one
Cutting out.
Yeah,
Cut out. Yeah.
cut out. It was
There's two.
good.
Yeah. There's two visual NPCs. Nobody's pushing consciousness on the screen right now. Shifty and in black skinny. Yeah. What's up, Steph? You were you were saying about two visual optical
oh yeah, two
something?
circuits. Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. I got connected,
You got
but
cut off.
yeah. So I think I was like driving with my. It's like the motion sense. Like that's like the thing that you can get peripheral vision. You know,
Hmm.
it's sort of like a spatial awareness more than it is a visual circuit in most people now. But I think I was like navigating using that sense of more than anything, and I was like, it's pretty amazing how I managed to actually drive.
That's that's wild. Like using your peripherals in general to to drive the car.
Motion
That's like
sense, yeah.
like Tupac says, I'm staring at my world through the rear view. Like driving your car through the rear view. Like, you know, once you've seen all the traps and things in front of you, you know, out your main window, some of us can, I guess, literally look back at things and proceed forward that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
I was just mostly focused on staying between the lines and making sure I didn't hit anything, you know?
Muscle
Where do you live
memory
now so
too.
we can stay away? No, I'm just kidding.
Just kidding. I got new glasses, so it's safe.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah.
I'm in Albuquerque, though.
Oh, that's I heard that's beautiful over there, New Mexico.
It can be. It's a lot of
Can be, yeah.
people have a negative outlook on Albuquerque once they get here because it's like, for one, it's really high altitude, and most people, whenever they come, they're not prepared for the lack of oxygen,
Hmm.
and that it does affect people pretty. It's pretty harsh on a lot of
Yeah.
people, especially if you're like from like sea level. So and then
I'm coastal
it's
people, California.
and it's really spread out. So you're not getting anywhere quickly unless you know the back roads or the secret pathways. Plus, there's a river right through the center of the city, and there's so many like ways to get across the river. So you have to be mindful of like, if you want to cross the river, you have to
Hmm.
go.
Is it Santa Fe?
Santa Fe is north of here. Yeah.
No. What's the river's name?
Oh, it's the Rio Grande.
Oh shit, that's big time.
Goes
Rio,
right
the
through.
Rio Grande. Yeah,
Yep.
it's epic.
Yeah. It's kind of shallow here, but still you have to be able to drive over a bridge to get over it.
Hey, think about the Temperance car. Isn't it the Angel? One version of it is the Angel Gabriel, or the Angel like 1 foot in the river, 1 foot on the land, something
Yeah.
like that.
The art card in the top deck, which is what I use.
Hmm. Yeah, a thought, Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
the only
what's the
deck I've been able to use since I got it. I mean, all the other
that's
ones
one.
I had hundreds of decks, and that's the best one, I think.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That and the original Wyatt one. But
That's what I
yeah. So
learned
what
on.
does the Temperance card um represent to you, or so I can figure out what it means to us or me?
Well, temperance is your emotional sword.
Hmm.
You're forging your emotional sword. So, you get put in the heat and taken back out and quenched and hammered, and eventually you get temperance.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, the crucible, the real crucible.
Yep.
Whenever,
And that's
when,
an art.
yeah,
And art, yes, that's a big deal, bro. Seeing yourself as an artist, like when I came with that paradigm, it changed my life. Life as art, and
It
then the
is art.
artist.
You can be
Yeah.
creative or you can be destructive, and sometimes you need to be destructive, but you know
Hmm.
when that is. And it
Yeah.
doesn't always have to be totally bricks to the ground. It could be remodeling, you know?
Right. Not
It's like the
complete
tower
demo.
moment. The tower moment doesn't have to be a total demolition job. You could just
Yeah.
remodel it into a lighthouse if you want.
Yeah. I like that. But what about you still gotta jump out the window at least once? Like the tower card?
Uh, Depends on if you can fly, I guess,
Yeah.
or if
or
you're good at
the
landing.
Yeah.
or become the hierophant, hierophant, whatever.
Hmm.
The Hierophant. Yeah, the Hierophant. Can the Hierophant fly? I don't know.
I think he's isn't he the person on his throne
It's like the
or something
Pope.
like that.
He can stand on his followers, his devotees' heads, I guess. It seemed like he's flying.
See, and that's like a masculine embodiment, but it has on the Thoth deck, it has Isis embedded at the base of the feet, and
Yeah.
there's also the star, the inner child star in the center where the heart is. So I think
Ah,
Mm.
that's really because it's a persona representation of the triune nature of a person.
no wonder why I was always fascinated with that. The triune, yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of like different uh symbolism in the threes, but three is the secret four. I'll just leave that there.
Mm.
Oh yeah, like
You said
there
three is a
was
secret four? Wow.
like there was
It's like a
always the cult in formation of cults. They always say the rule of threes, the rule of sevens. You know, if you repeat,
yeah.
and if you repeat repetitively 7 times, 21 times, 7 times
Mm-hmm.
3, 21.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
And 10 and
Ugh,
11, God is my plus one. That's my second Kabbalah joke.
10 and 11. Yeah.
Oh no, God is my plus one. That's my Kabbalah joke. My second one. The
Oh,
first
okay.
one is three is the secret core.
yeah.
Well, that's the three, the secret four. The third card and the thought that is the high priestess, right?
Yeah.
And
That and the
she's the
fourth.
pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a funny thing because like how right now we're inundated with for several decades now we've been inundated with the escape the matrix programming
Mm-hmm.
that they're trying to get us all to escape the matrix. But I think it's actually the Patrix saying that we should escape the matrix, but it's really the Patrix that we should be
You mean
balancing.
the patriarch wants us to escape the mysterious mama matrix
Yes,
that
because
we're
that's magic.
embedded in?
Because they don't want us to use the magic because
Mm-hmm.
it's bad because it
Mm-hmm.
undermines their control.
Yeah, but they use it. That's the interesting part about it. They
Do, but
distort it.
they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They want it all for themselves. But they are another me, and so whatever they need to do to
Yeah.
learn their lessons is fine with me.
Well, let's go on a little walk. Let's walk with me. Like so, the priestess becomes the empress, right? How does
Yeah,
that happen?
through grounding mostly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it has to be grounded, and that's the mother energy, really the mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
My wife
the
did it. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
because the high priestess is the counterpart of the emperor. Well, the emperor and the empress are counterparts of each other, but the high priestess and the magician are like the same as those. They're just different
Yeah,
Ah,
cause
the
right, cause
magician.
the emperor's next. Yeah. Yeah. He's like an
Yeah,
evolved form of the magician, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's the boss. And I don't know if
He's
it's
a
more
boss.
evolved. Sometimes it's just more power. Sometimes there's positives and negatives. It's all a spectrum. So you can
Hmm.
have negatives. It's like if you happen to be too emotional and you're like in it for the power and the glory, then
Hmm.
it can be bad. But if you're a good ruler, a good emperor is going to be tempered, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So would be the opposite of the emperor, the fool.
No, the
Eh,
fool is like a blank slate. It's like it could be anything. It's closest to Jesus that you can get.
Yeah.
Ah,
He's
interesting.
the first. This
Yeah,
whole journey is his journey, his or her journey.
it
You know what
is.
I
Like,
mean? Yeah. Right.
who's
What
the
happens
hero?
to the Hierophant? How does he become? How's the emperor go into the Hierophant?
Oh, there's several ways that you could get there.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of what we see now is the Hierophant has been kind of hijacked
Hmm.
and is not so much in touch with the Isis at his feet or the inner child. And so it's imbalanced. So
Mm.
that's
That's bad.
basically like, but the ideal of the Hierophant is the embodiment of all of those three layers.
Yeah. But that's bad if you have a distorted Hierophant because the Hierophant's supposed to evolve into the lovers, right?
What's bad?
That's part. If you have a you like you
And
said
bad good or
the
bad bad?
bad isn't bad, not Michael Jackson. No,
Yeah.
because if you said if we're saying that the Hierophant is being distorted, you know, nowadays, like you get the lovers from the Hierophant. So this is why maybe a lot of relationships
Uh-huh.
are kind of like on thin ice, a shaky foundation.
Yep.
The lover card, right?
Well, and the counterpart to the Lover card is the Devil card. And the Devil card, if you look, they're mirrors of each other. And the people, the couple that are at the base of Baphomet in the Devil card, they have very loose chains, which means that they could take them off anytime they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's one
Ah,
point
interesting.
most people see. Yeah. That's very important, though,
Yeah.
to realize that they're loose chains.
Oh, loose chain. Yeah, they can. It's like the bird can escape the cage at any time because it's been wide
Yep.
open the whole time. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Why do you think we go from the devil to the tower next? The tower.
Mm, the tower is, like I said, I think that's just a remodeled lighthouse. It could be, I mean,
Hmm.
you need to have some, entropy disorder to have challenges in order
Yeah,
to be strong and build things.
yeah.
You
And you
have
got
to
that
have
all
the
seeing eye, right at the top on the
uh-huh.
card.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's also in the universe card.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is. The last is the universe, right?
Yep. And if you notice on the thought deck, she's standing on the head of the serpent,
Mm-hmm.
but there's like a Trimobius behind her. And she's like very the universe, feminine universe. There's the diamond and the Trimobius shape. So that's like the 3 and the 4 together. And the
Mm-hmm.
eye is the 1. And she's basically shielding the eye in the
Mm.
symbolism. And she's
Yeah.
standing on the serpent's head,
Yeah,
which
she
is very
is. Yeah.
reminiscent of the strength card, where the virgin is wielding power over the lion. What, however many
Lust,
it has.
strength.
Yeah, less strength. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's Mars and Leo. He says that in the Book of Thought. That's
Yep.
one. Yeah. That's my placement right there. There's definitely something in my life. Um, so the universe card is cool too because the first thing that stands out is that peacock feather,
Yeah.
and to me, and that's like wow, man. The because I've always been amazed by peacocks and whatnot, and
That's
that's the
Hera's too. The
that's what.
jealous, jealous Hera. You know
Mm,
the goddess Hera, Zeus's
mm-hmm,
wife.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, but it's
mm,
also I mean, there's a lot of symbolism in. I love peacocks. Peacocks are great.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget the chariot. I mean, the Wheel of Fortune, Seven of Pentacles.
Yeah. The chariot is good. The chariot is that Libra. Timothy Leary, he loved Crowley. He's talking about how that relates to his mind to Libra, the chariot card.
The
I
chariot
don't
is
know.
stationary though, unless it has the Wheel of Fortune spinning the wheels.
Number 10.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I hear a tarot reader say Seven of Pentacles, it's like, yeah, it's gonna bring you some good
Ten,
fortune.
10 Pentacles is
No,
good.
yeah, 10 also, yeah.
Abundance and happiness, cups and
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Part of the
those
reason
are
why I
all.
don't really worry about things too long probably is because I was born on the 10th. That fortune card really resonates with me. It's like I got good stuff happening, and then, I mean, other stuff happens, but then the good stuff will come up again, and yeah, it's an interesting story. Now I had to ask you questions. I appreciate you. I have to donate to you one of these days and get a reading because I think that's a gift you have, and I respect people who are good at that. And you sound like you know your stuff.
I love doing readings.
Yeah.
It sustains me as much as I could hope. It's like I was really like, for the longest time I was like afraid to like try and do it for a living, and it emotionally exhausts me. But I guess about 3 years ago, there was that full moon on Halloween, and I did a party where basically I was doing readings for the entire party for like 8 hours, and I
8 hours
felt so
straight, huh?
energized. Yeah, and I felt so energized that. And then my friend Zach, who does readings in Sedona now, but he was traveling through town, and he was like, let's go downtown and set up and see if we can do some readings for some people. And I just went along with him, and I realized, I was like, wow, I can actually do this, and I could actually make a decent living just doing this. And it's been 3 years now, and I work like
Nice.
1 or 2 days a week, and then I have the rest of my time as free time to do stuff like this. It's
That's awesome.
lovely. And my art as well. I do paint.
Nice.
So this is how you make money off that. That's good. This is a stream. It's a money stream, so that's good
Yeah.
too.
What would
Go ahead, Chef.
you say, because my north node is in Capricorn, my south node is in Cancer. What would you say about those polarities?
North Node and Capricorn. Capricorn is very materially oriented, very ground, matter, solid. And as long as you're not too attached, and you can balance, and with the South Node being in more watery Cancer, much more volatile emotionally, as I think you said already, that has been something that you've dealt with. I think that's it's good to have both ends of the spectrum on the South and North Node there, because it gives you basically all the tests that you need to be a badass in both the material and emotional planes. So
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a polarity in real life. Look at his avatar. That's Scrooge resonating. Capricorn.
That's so funny.
Capricorn energy right there.
We were talking about Marduk earlier, like the
Marduk, yeah.
Yeah, Marduk. I was like going quack quack, and I was like, he's like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even know.
Do not mind him at all, and that's his own fault.
I mean, as a kid, I loved that show. Of the mighty Scrooge McDuck. I was just like, I loved it. Yeah. So
watch it again now with your eyes, because now I'm going to watch it, because look at him. He has that Capricorn archetype energy, right? And yet, who comes to live with him? The boys. He had to nurture that Cancer energy. He had to nurture those boys, and then you got not LoJack, whatever his name is, that other guy, in the mix, adventurer. But those boys in Scrooge, that's that north south node Capricorn Capricorn Cancer right in front of your face, right there, synchronistic, right there, bro. So that's something to. I'm gonna look into it, bro. That's good. That's good stuff. I'm gonna shut it down because I actually had to go give a couple lectures on two interesting books too on my classes. One class we're reading The Giver. I don't know if you heard of that book, The
Yes.
Giver. Yeah, and then the other class we're reading The Thief, which is kind of like polarization, right there. The Thief and
Interesting.
The Giver. Yeah, so
I don't think I've heard that
um,
book. Beef. Hmm.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. A lot to do about alliances and friendships. Whereas the Giver, I'm getting the vibes about memories and being emotionally um, s- grounded from that so
Is that
far.
the one
But
that
anyway,
they made a movie of? The Giver? Did they make a movie?
they made a movie about it. I don't know if Taylor
Mhm.
Swift was in it. Maybe she was in it. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I'm familiar with it. I think I read it before,
yeah,
but I heard that there was a movie. I haven't seen it
yeah,
yet. Really good.
yeah.
It's
So
one of those books that everybody should read, I think.
yeah, it's really good so far. I'm liking it. I really appreciate you for guys coming through, and shout out to Chris in the chat and DGM. I like your profile fit, DGM. It's like you're kind of like, look at these people up here. All right. We anyway,
Eyes. I love those
appreciate those
eyes.
eyes, huh? The
She
sultry
has,
eyes.
yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with her.
Nah. Forever sweet she is, she has that shadow side. Probably put the hammer on your ass.
Yep. I can see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So yeah. So I appreciate you coming through, Zephyr, new friend and old friend Shift.
Mhm.
Um so we'll we'll see you next time. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
See you later.
Okay.
Great
Yeah. See
day.
you next time.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Appreciate you. Absolutely.
Appreciate you
All
back.
right. Love it. All right, wonderful people. And in the coming days, we'll see you next time on Tuesday. We're going psychedelic elitism series with my friend from Holland, Poot G. Man, we're gonna be talking about this whole psychedelic uh, movement and also psyop maybe that's going on. All right,
Ah,
Interesting.
I'll be into
it should be
that.
interesting. Yeah,
I just am coming down for mushrooms right now, so
there you go. I remember you said that. There you go. That's perfect, right? Yeah. So we'll see you next time on Tuesday, everyone. Your Monday. Peace. Love.